1NA.
Okay, we have Mr. Chris available to us now from the jail for purposes of the review on services and permanency planning analysis. We have the names of our participants.
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department.
Macy Moore, foster care worker with Charities.
Michael Brooks, I'm the attorney for Mr. Christopher Cundiff, father of the child. Chris?
I'm Christopher Cundiff, father of the child.
Very well. All right. Okay. Mr. Howitt, any comments from your report for the benefit of Mr. Cundiff?
Yes, I would say I was able to observe a parenting time with Mr. Cundiff and the child. The child was pretty fussy during the visit. She started crying, and Mr. Cundiff took all appropriate steps to soothe her. And it did take some time, but he was able to stay calm the whole time and, take care of it. And she stopped crying, and eventually I think she just started eating. But so that was good to see. And I've observed appropriate relationship and bond with Mr. Cundiff and the child since my first visit with them. And I've seen them every few months together. So what I would say also about the medical concerns that the child is facing right now, Mr. Cundiff did not seem to have a ton of information on it. I don't know how involved he's been or what information he's been provided, but I think he said that she had been sick, which, in a way is true, but he did not share a ton of information or have a ton of interest in what was going on with that. And so I guess I would like a clarification from him today on, what his understanding of the condition is and what information has been available to him. But, and then, I do believe that the child is in a placement that fits her best interests. She's been well taken care of through this medical treatment concerns over the last couple months. And obviously she did not share her wishes due to her age. Thank you.
Okay, any other opening comments?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Testimony today, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask Ms. Moore to provide her report at this time.
Okay, Ms. Moore, come on up for the state.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So yes.
Yes, I do.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, you provided a court report today for Mr. Cundiff and his hearing. In addition to these documents, have you circulated or provided the parties with any additional exhibits for today's hearing?
I have not, but I do have copies of the psychological report that I am prepared to provide copies of.
Okay. At this time, have you provided that to Mr. Brooks or Mr. Howitt?
I gave Mr. Howitt a copy, but not to Mr. Brooks.
Okay. Are you prepared to summarize the contents of the psychological evaluation for the benefit of Mr. Brooks?
I could briefly summarize it, yes.
Okay. Let's hold off on that. At this time, though, can you just highlight Dad's compliance with and benefit from his case service plan during this review period?
Yes. Currently, Mr. Cundiff is incarcerated. He has been incarcerated since January 6th. Prior to being incarcerated, he reported that he was going to engage in domestic violence classes or the program with John Bailey. He had failed to do so prior to getting incarcerated, so he has yet to do so as well. He does do well in his parenting times. He attends the parenting times, brings diapers, wipes, things of that nature. He was able to start the foster care supportive visitation program prior to being incarcerated. However, since his incarceration now, he has missed one visit. If he misses the next two foster care supportive visitation visits, he will be booted from the program. But he is able to be re-referred. So if he is able to if he does end up getting kicked out of the program, I am able to re-refer him after his incarceration.
Do you, what is your understanding as to why Mr. Cundiff is incarcerated?
A few domestic violence charges, a tattooing without licensure charge, and something about tampering with like electronics.
Were any of these new incidents, or were they all outstanding and he was just picked up on an outstanding warrant?
All of them were new, I believe, new charges.
Okay. And then as it relates to your report, though, are there any updates other than the ones you've kind of provided right now that need to be made?
Just the only other thing that I would outline is that he has been provided with the neurology doctor's name and contact information. So I am not sure if he has followed up on that in any way, but that has been provided to him. So he could ask the questions.
Okay. And then as it relates to the child's medical needs and of doctor's appointments, are you informing Mr. Cundiff of those appointments in advance so he has awareness of what's happening?
Yes, as soon as I kind of hear about the appointment, or if she goes to the hospital, so to say, I inform all parents and then the LJAL. So I start with dad, call mom, and then I call Mr. Howitt.
What would be the risk of harm, other than dad's current incarceration? What would be the risk of harm to the child if the court were to consider returning the child to Mr. Cundiff today?
If the child were to be returned to Mr. Cundiff today, it would be at substantial risk of homelessness, money mismanagement, potential alcohol use, potential criminality, neglect, potential not following up on her medical care, all the ones off the top of my head.
As it relates to homelessness, it's my understanding, I believe from the court report, that generally Mr. Cundiff lives with his family. Do you have any updates as to that arrangement, or as to why that would not be appropriate for the child to live there?
Yes, in his criminal side of things, there is a no contact order with Mary Cundiff, who is his mother, who resides at his address that would be within the court report. So he's not allowed to return to that address due to his mother residing there.
During this review period, though, it looks like Mr. Cundiff was able to secure employment, at least part-time.
He reported that he was employed at Little Caesars. I never received any employment verification. And then when I asked him for the verification, he had reported that he quit his job because he was potentially going to be incarcerated. Okay.
And part of this report also indicates that the DNA testing was completed on Mr. Cundiff and the child, and he is in fact the biological father. Were those results shared with him when you received them?
Yes, they were.
Was there anything from the psychological evaluation that would help inform the case service plan moving forward?
I don't believe so. In short, it says that he needs to show long-term consistency, and it be very long-term.
Okay.
Before reunification were to occur.
Do you believe that reunification is still appropriate for Mr. Cundiff? That goal is still appropriate for the child as relates to Mr. Cundiff at this time?
Based on his recent criminality and recent charges, I would say no. I would say no.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know from your knowledge of the case?
Nope, I believe we hit it all.
Okay. Your Honor, as relates to the psychological evaluation, I just received that right before court. I would ask the court to accept it at this time, provided that Mr. Brooks is given a copy of that. I would just ask the court to hold that open for any objections at the next hearing for myself, Mr. Howitt, and Mr. Brooks.
Subject to the preconditions that Ms. Thomas has put on it, I have no objection.
No objection.
Very well. I'll accept the reports. I'll need an extra copy. How many do you have there?
I have 3, 2 for you and 1 for Brooks.
Okay.
Carson already has one.
Deputy Answer, do you mind, or Deputy Cleaner, sorry, do you mind passing those around? Thank you. So I've received mine, Mr. Brooks has his, and I will leave it open for cross-examination and objections at the next review as requested. Questions for this witness, Mr. Brooks?
When he was not in jail up to about a week ago, I guess, was he cooperative trying to work on the case service plan?
He was. I would say yes. I've reminded him multiple times, however, that the domestic violence was kind of my number one thing that I wanted him to get going on, and he failed to do so.
Well, did he fail to do it, or as he said, he was going to jail, so he didn't see any point in starting?
Failed to do so.
Is that something that he was going to have to pay for?
Yes.
Which would, I assume, imply he'd need an income, right?
Yes.
Now, with respect to his child's physical condition, illnesses, and so forth, that has been by and large conducted, taking care of those issues outside of his control. Is that right?
Yes.
And is it also true that the party or parties who have controlled that situation are not very well disposed towards Mr. Cundiff?
I would disagree.
You would?
Yes. The placement's babysitter is Mr. Cundiff's biological aunt. So I would disagree.
Okay. We are all aware, I believe, of that my client's in jail at the moment, right?
Yes.
And, well, I have no further questions.
That's right.
Yes, when you would call Mr. Cundiff to inform him about the child's medical updates or appointments, how would those conversations go?
It would I would call, and typically, like over the Thanksgiving break, I was on my phone nonstop during that break, and I made multiple calls to Mr. Cundiff's mother, whose phone he uses. So I would call that phone and request to speak to Chris. And if they did not answer and I could not speak to Chris, I would just give the verbal update in a voicemail, and I would never receive a call back if I left a voicemail. But when I spoke to him directly, I would just kind of lay out, hey, this is what we're looking at. This is what the doctor told me. I'll keep you posted. She's in the hospital right now. I'll let you know. Do you have any questions for me? Typically, the response would be, no, I don't have any questions. And I would say, okay, if you think of anything, let me know. And then I additionally provided him with the neurologist's office's direct line, so he could call and get updates directly if he wanted to.
Before the court report was distributed, was there any medical records that he was provided with?
I don't believe so, because the neurology after visit summary in the court report is the first one I have received back. I am waiting for assistance from DHS in obtaining the medical documents, just because they give me a really hard time. So I had requested our health liaison assist with obtaining the documents.
Do either of the parents have access to the medical portal?
I believe potentially the Garens do, but I have no control over the portal, unfortunately.
Does placement?
Placement's not allowed to access it.
Nothing further.
Is there a reason they're not allowed to access it?
I don't understand. I think it's like hospital policy type deal. I don't understand the
Yeah.
portal.
We have a case with another judge where placement has to be ordered to have access to the medical portal. So I think we could request that, see if that works.
It was nasty. Okay. All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Brooks, any follow-up questions?
No,
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Any other testimony today, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Testimony today, Mr. Brooks?
I'd like to call briefly Mr. Cundiff.
All right, Deputy Cleaner, if you could swear in Mr. Christopher Cundiff, please.
Could you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cundiff, you are obviously incarcerated at the moment, correct?
Yes.
Could you tell the court what charges you're facing?
Okay. They told me I was picked up on 10 warrants. The first one would have been an assault with intent to do great bodily harm. Telecommunications is what they label or abbreviated it as. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Interference with a telephone communication device, sound familiar?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then 7 domestic violences and 1 operating or tattoo without a license.
As we sit here this afternoon, you have not, other than being arraigned, no formal legal proceedings have begun, have they?
No, sir.
And you probably don't have any idea at this point when they will begin, do you?
I'm not 100% sure. I do believe I have a probable cause conference on the 21st with Judge Shadler.
All right.
I'm not exactly sure what that would be, though.
And that would probably cover your felony charge.
Okay.
You don't, right?
Yes.
Okay. And as for the remaining misdemeanor charges, you have received no word.
I don't believe so. I had 2
Oh.
dates scheduled, then I got a paperback with only 1 on it at the end of the day.
So for the near-term future, next 2-3 weeks, month, you're probably going to stay right where you're at, right?
I wasn't expecting that, but you would know better than me. I was honestly thinking it would be a PR the next court date, based off of what my attorney said.
You're hoping you get a personal recognizance sponsor?
Yes, that's what I was under the impression is a possibility. GPS tether PR because of what my attorney relayed to me last time I spoke to her.
She would know better than I. All right. Do you agree right now the best interests of that child are to remain where she is?
No.
Where do you think she should be?
I think she should be at my home with her grandparents, my family.
Is this the lady who's got apparently a PPO against you?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
I would like to clear up a few things about the job in the John Bailey. Me and Macy and John were in a 3-way email. She's well aware that I was set to start domestic violence counseling last Wednesday when I received the funds to PayPal. That was the last message I said was I will receive the funds Wednesday and I'll talk to you then, John. They all said, okay, great. And then basically she just made it sound like I never attempted to do anything when we all had plans to start it last Wednesday, but then I was arrested a short few days later. And on the job thing, she said she couldn't verify it. I never did turn in pay stubs. I do still have them. And also I did show up to almost every visit in my whole uniform, ready to go straight from the visit to my workplace.
Anything else you'd like the court to know?
And I don't think the homelessness would be an issue because that's probably going to be where I stay for several more years. And
Where?
at my home, my parents' home. That's been my plan.
All right.
Plan is to stay there for years. So I don't know, homelessness wouldn't really be an issue to her, even if I did get in legal trouble, because she would be able to stay there in that sense.
Have your extended family outlined some of the medical issues that your child has?
Extended, what do you mean by that?
Well, if not your mother, the family of the mother, have they told you anything?
No.
Is there anything else that you want me to cover with you?
I would just say the only reason I wouldn't question it too much, or when she'd leave updates in the voicemail, she would specifically say if I had any questions to call her back. So that would be the reason I didn't, because I don't have any questions for the social workers in that sense. Anything I want to learn about, I'm going to take a Google and learn on my own.
But you did hear the messages that she left.
Yes, I heard every message, and I did acknowledge that I should only call back if I had any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not have any questions, so therefore I did not call back intentionally.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
I have done. Thank you.
Mr. Howe?
Yes. Mr. Cundiff, do you think you were provided with appropriate opportunities to stay involved in your child's medical appointments over the last couple months?
As in attending them, no. Macy did mention that once, but then for some reason she just never brought it up again when we were at the Catholic Charities building. She said maybe we can start going to these visits, but then she mentioned how they were in Toledo. But since I'd had my GPS removed, and then no, other than that, I haven't heard anything about like medical appointments or visits.
What do you know about her medical condition?
I believe it was an epileptic or epilepsy.
Have you spoken with any nurses or doctors that have treated her?
No, not specifically that have treated her. I just do all my own research on the internet after I've been told what she had been diagnosed with.
Would the PPO your mother has against you get in the way of you living there?
Technically right now it would, but she doesn't put it against me. It was brought on by somebody else's allegations. So I do believe that will be dropped. She had nothing to do with those claims.
Nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
Any other witnesses?
No.
Mr. Howitt?
No, Your Honor.
Any comments? Ms. Shirley, I think you are the one who has the child in your care at this time, is that right? I can't hear you. You're not muted, so it must be something with the audio on your end, or the microphone rather.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, definitely. Hang on.
Okay. I'm sorry, I had my speakers plugged in. So I just want to
Hang on one second. Hang on. Because Deputy Fleener is going to swear you in, and then you're going to have to give us your full name, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead and raise your right hand, ma'am. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, just keep in mind we are on YouTube, so if you can avoid using the child's first name, that would be great. But I look forward to any comments you might have for purposes of today's review.
Yeah, Your Honor. So I basically just want to give kind of an idea of what a typical day in my life looks like with the child. And this goes for whoever she may be placed with, mom, dad, grandparents, whoever she gets placed with. I hope they're prepared that they need a full-time person with them, because my support person, who happens to be Mr. Cundiff's aunt, is a godsend to me because she doesn't work. So she's here full-time and moved in with me to assist me so that I could keep my job. If I didn't have her, I would not be able to work with her medical conditions. So whoever she gets placed with, I hope they understand that somebody needs to be with her full time. They need to know what symptoms to look for. This was not something that was easily detected. Jen detected, oops, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say her name. My support person is the one who detected it. I was at work. She called me. I left work. We took her to the hospital. And luckily, it got caught very quickly, because the damage that it could cause her in long term, it's unspeakable. And the medication has worked wonders. She was at a point, the spasms first started, where she was not even being responsive. And she now is laughing and giggling, and the happy baby that she was when I first got her. The first time she smiled and laughed, we cried because we were so happy to see that. I just want somebody to understand that I wake up on a Monday morning at 6:30 in the morning. My caregiver and I both. We have appointments, and now we got slapped with OT and PT. So that's another thing that has to be fit into the schedule. We get up, we have early on coming. We have early education coming. Then we have to take her to visitations. And then I have to come home and get ready for work. And then my support person's with her. Then I get off work and we have to do it all over again. And when she doesn't want to go to sleep, we don't get to go to sleep. So it's really important for somebody to understand, whether the Garens take her or whether someone else takes her, that they may need to come to the realization that somebody may not be able to work. Somebody may need to be with her full time. Her condition is not going to go away. The medication they put her on, yes, it helped her, but the neurologist made it very clear that this is not going to take it away. It's going to help it, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop it. And every time she has one of these spasms, it causes more developmental damage. She's 7 months old. She's just now trying to sit up on her own. She's just now trying to hold her own bottle. So yes, there has been some delays in her development, but she's getting there. Her cheeks are huge right now. She has Cushing's, and it's from the medication. The doctor informed me that might happen. So she put on a lot of weight gain from that. So I'll give you a little bit of idea of what infantile spasms are. They are a form of epilepsy. Chris is right about that. It is a form of epilepsy. It's a rare form of epilepsy. 1 in so many thousand of children get this. She'll have an episode that may last 9 or 10 minutes. And during that 9 or 10 minutes, she'll have about 26 spasms. She will stiffen. Her arms will go up. Her body will stiffen. Her mouth will twitch. Her eyes will twitch. And if you're not watching her to see this, you don't know what's happening. And it happens. And at first she just gets shocked by it, and then she'll cry. Luckily, since the medication, she has not had any. But there is a chance that children with this can go on to have other types of seizures later in life. So it is important, whoever she gets placed with is prepared for that long-term health issues that are going to come with that. And they're prepared to take trips to Toledo because there is no children's hospital in Adrian or nearby. So it's either Mott's or Toledo. Those are your picks. So whoever takes her has to be prepared to be driving, because trust and believe, I drive to Toledo more than I can even count on one hand, not to mention I work in Toledo. Luckily, I work at the hospital that she's at. So luckily, when she was in the hospital, I was still able to work because I was right downstairs from her and I could go on my breaks. My boss was understanding about that. But it is a lot. It is a lot of back and forth driving. I drive. I feel like I live in my car anymore. I'm constantly going to appointments. She has to go get an EEG at 8 o'clock in the morning. I live in Adrian. That means I got to get up at 5:30 to get myself ready, get her bag packed. Me and my support person got to load her up in the car, take her for an EEG. Then directly after, she has an appointment with the neurologist. Then I got to come home and get ready for work and go to work. It's a lot. And somebody needs to be prepared for that. They need to have reliable transportation to take her back and forth to all of this stuff. It is a lot for somebody to handle. And I'm not saying that somebody can't do it, but I'm just trying to give them an idea of what it's like and to be prepared for that. And that's the only thing I can say. My daughter-in-law happens to be Mr. Cundiff's sister. So, I mean, I try to inform the family as much as possible. As Miss Moore said, my caregiver is Mr. Cundiff's aunt. So, we try to keep everybody informed as possible. I would never withhold anything. I have no problem. If Mr. Cundiff wants to come to appointments with us, I have no problem with that at all. If it's allowed, because from my understanding, there were no unsupervised visits without their permission. So I mean, I would have no problem with that. And that's really all I had to say.
I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Do any of our attorneys have any questions for Ms. Shirley?
I do. I have one. Ms. Teague, I just want to make sure we're understanding correctly. Was your intention simply to inform the record of the reality of your situation and how caregiving is? Or should we be taking away that maybe you are reconsidering placement right now?
Oh, absolutely never. I've grown very attached to the child. I almost said her name. Sorry. I've grown attached to her, and I would never turn my back on her, especially now, like, with all the health problems she has. She's most familiar with myself and my caregiver, and we're the two most familiar faces to her. I would never turn my back on her. No, I'm just trying to inform everyone of what the long term of this is. And
absolutely. Thank you for that.
Like, they need to have everything together before they consider placing her. I'm not saying she
Okay.
shouldn't be placed with anybody and that she might not be in a better place with somebody. What I'm saying is I just want them to be prepared for what's going to come along with that. And they need to have all of these things in order because it is a lot.
Okay. Thank you for that information and the continued support for this family. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Brooks, any questions?
Ma'am, are you willing to take on that responsibility?
The responsibility of,
Taking care of this child on a long-term basis?
I've been doing it for months. When she was in the hospital, my support person and I both slept in that hospital every single night with her. I never left her side, my caregiver nor myself. We stayed the night with her. I got ready in her room for work, went down to work, got off work, went back to her room and stayed the night with her. My support person nor myself would never turn our back on her ever. And I mean,
I'm going to take
I'm
that
not
answer
saying
as
that what I'm saying is I've never been approached with anything about adoption or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm the best person ever to have her. I'm just saying that whoever she does end up with, I just want them to be prepared for what a day is with her.
Well, until right now, I guess I didn't know it either. But thank you for your answer and your help.
You're welcome.
Mr. Howe?
Is there anything that the agency or department can provide to assist with the child or yourselves in transportation or hotels or anything like that?
No, Miss Moore has offered extended offers. Like last night, I did get a hotel room because her MRI was at 7:00 this morning, and I didn't want to have to. And she couldn't eat after a certain time, so the thought of driving from Adrian to Toledo with a screaming baby that's starving wasn't something I really wanted to be on the highway doing. And so I did get a room last night, and stayed there. And we got up at about 5:00 this morning, so I'm extremely exhausted. Because her last feeding was allowed to be at 5 for clear liquids, and she just wasn't happy with the Pedialyte. And so, but that's all she could have. So I wanted to at least get her that last bit before she went in. And then once we got there, we got delayed a little bit because of the guardianship issue and the legalities of the MRI. And then once we got it done, everything went smoothly. She came out fine. She's been sleeping a lot. They said that would happen because she had to be sedated for that MRI because they couldn't have her moving around. But everything went smoothly. She came out good. She's been sleeping. She's with my support person right now so that I could attend the hearing. But she's doing great. She's laughing and smiling and she's doing good.
Nothing further.
Thank you so much for your testimony.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, counselors. Anyone else you'd like us to hear from or any closing comments?
No more witnesses.
No one further, Your Honor.
I have nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, last opportunity for any comments?
Well, can I make a brief one?
Sure.
I didn't know how lucky we were to have that lady right there taking care of this little girl. I knew the child had problems. I didn't know the extent of the care required until about 5 minutes ago. I thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. But my support person, she's owed a lot of credit too. She's with her while I'm at work, so she spends a lot of time with her. So like I said, she's a godsend to me. I couldn't have done this without her.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's permanency planning hearing, as well as review. Mr. Cundiff's current circumstances have been well outlined by the court report, the testimony of Ms. Moore, and confirmation through his own testimony that he's unable to take placement due to his incarceration, current criminal charges, prohibition against returning to the home that he was living in, And all of the other circumstances that continue to be persistent and that were identified at the adjudication, frankly. Again, this child has been removed since June 12th, 2025. I know that the request for placement with his family has been investigated, but we'll ask Ms. Moore to just refresh the record for us next time on that request. But I believe we already have an investigation into that placement request with his mom and his family. Her current placement is certainly the safest and least restrictive, and that is, can't even describe the level of care that she's being provided at right now, which we heard extensively about. There's really nothing that allows the court and all of us to really understand what it's like, with the exception of opportunities to hear from people like Shirley. So I echo Mr. Brooks's comments. We're very grateful to you and to your support partner. So please pass along our thanks as well for all of the support that you provide for the child. The child will certainly remain in that placement pending our next review hearing. I am going to change the goal to a dual goal of adoption and reunification. We would need to see significant progress in all areas from Mr. Cundiff in a short period of time, frankly, in order to truly entertain more efforts that the court can justify towards allowing him to work towards reunification. This child has increasingly heightened needs around parenting, as well as health, developmental challenges, and all of the things that Ms. Shirley articulated so well for us on the record, and also we're continuing the court report and the testimony of Ms. Moore. She's been out of the care of this parent as well since June 12, 2025. And at best, we can look for an update as far as what's happening with his criminal charges at the next report period, but certainly not a lot of progress in other areas has been made up to this point, unfortunately. So with that in mind, and the young age of the child and her heightened needs, I am changing the goal to reunification and adoption to see where both of these parents will be in another 3 months. And at that point, we'll be looking at removal for a period of 9 months. And that is a significant period of time for a child that young and with this many challenges. So we'll come back together on April 6th at 10 a.m. for a review of Mr. Cundiff's progress or status. We'll also look at the goal at that time to determine whether or not the dual goal of reunification remains appropriate, or if simply adoption should be the best goal for this child moving forward. Unless there's any questions, the record is, I think, very complete, and the court report or the court order will certainly contain the rest of the findings necessary to support the court's decision today. Unless there's any questions, that's it for today. We'll see you April 6th at 10 a.m. for Mr. Cundiff's case and at 9 a.m. for Ms. Ellie Guerin's case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.